And welcome to the FeedBak podcast, everybody. My name is Back. Happy New Year. You can still say Happy New Year. My cutoff is the 15th. After that, when I don't care anymore.
Half a month.
Yes. But anyway, it's been a while, and it's good to be back. Shout out to Native for letting me use their romper room as a studio, really. So shout out to them. Today's guests, we have to introduce MC / comedian / host / producers, writer, P-Tek. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
All the best. And returning champ, you heard him on the episode on ACL. Alex, how you doing, man?
Doing all right.
Thank you. Photographer extraordinaire, master photographer.
Master.
Any slashes?
Jedi Knight.
Sure.
I'm a Star Wars guy, so I gotta throw it in there.
No, but it's good to be back. It's weird because I've been itching. There's so many things happening, and I've been itching to talk about it. Talk about all of that stuff, and I'm like, now it's hard with the baby because I can't do it at home, right? And he might show up later if you stick around. He might make an appearance. Baby back is coming.
Hopefully, challenger.
When
I
you
want my baby back.
Man, he's gonna hear that for all his life. I got lucky because I got here by the time I was 16, and I heard that joke a couple times, and after that I was like, yeah, whatever. But if I were here as a kid, yeah, that would be every day. I want my baby back, and I would hear all the jokes on it.
The Chili's restaurant joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he might just get that from adults trying to be funny, because I made that just as a terrible joke. But I feel like kids his age are not gonna know that reference.
Well, they're gonna know Baby Got Back and whatever other song would back in it, and they're just gonna call them that. there's no escape. I mean, I got that. When people will just go, hey, how you doing? I'm back, and they go, hey, I'm front, and I just okay. I'm sorry.
Right.
I gotta go. No, but it's the thing is, doing this podcast for what, maybe 4 years now, on and off, mostly off lately. We talk about nightlife a lot, but I'm like, man, I'm getting old, man. I can't be talking about nightlife because I'm not out there anymore. Mm-hmm. Do you guys still go out as much? Not as much as you used to, maybe.
I find that I try to make. That's actually a New Year's resolution of mine.
Oh shit! Hey, you get till February 1st.
Yeah, right.
And it's over.
I need to get out there more. I find myself being so inundated with work that I'm doing and my own shows that when I leave, it's generally because I'm playing a show. And when I'm at home, it's because I either need to rest or I'm working on something else.
You gotta stop working, man.
It's hard to get out there just to be at a show just for fun. Honestly, it feels like emotional work sometimes to get out,
hold
the
on,
whole thing.
Hold on, and Alex, tell me if you go through the same thing. You go to a show, and you can't really enjoy the show because you're thinking in the back of your head, oh shit, I gotta do this, I gotta wake up in the morning, I gotta do all this adult shit. I'm a dad, so I'm thinking, oh fuck, I'm gonna be up at 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, take care of the baby, so I can't really focus and have a good time anymore.
So I do all that thinking before I even get showered to even try and think about coming down.
Oh,
and then I talk myself out of it, and I'm like, you know what? Going to shoot photos, I love doing it, and I like listening to certain music and stuff like that. But then I'm thinking, man, all right, then I gotta get up, I gotta shower, I gotta get down here, pay for parking, and then I'm shooting photos, and then
so it becomes more of a hassle now.
Well. I think as I've gotten, I think as I've gotten older, well, I think a lot of it too is because I'm not getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but
I do it because I love it. But then whenever I do it because I love it, then for the next 5 days, I'm getting text messages. Hey man, you got those photos? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Well, I'm talking about just to go and enjoy yourself. Because you got people like that just
you know what, man, I do different things now to the whole. I think maybe because whenever I was in my 20s,
sure.
I worked downtown. I was in that scene.
That's why I met
behind the bar. Yeah, I was behind the scenes. I was in the bar. I got to go to the live shows. I've done all that. So now it's just I pick my spots. And those spots are few and far between nowadays, more than they used to be. So
right, but it's not about go out just to go out anymore. It's look, if there's the artist coming through. I'm not gonna miss that, no matter what I got to do the next day.
Right.
Case in point, the fucking Revolution last month. Like you don't miss that.
Right.
Right. And even if there's an artist that shows up and you're like, you know what, I'm not really a fan, but I could use a break. You know, and it's one of those. If I don't see him now, he's probably gonna die soon. Because I mean, let's face it, all
of the ones that we grew up with.
Exactly, they're going away. So if you don't catch him now, it's like, what are the chances that they'll come back to Austin?
Yeah.
You know, especially if it's a one-off type deal and it's not like part of a festival. You know, so you gotta take advantage of that shit. And it's not. But I gotta say, like sometimes I do feel like, God damn, I've been at this house all day.
Get that
I gotta get the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
And going to a coffee shop won't cut it, because wherever I go, like I need music around me. Like I can't just, you know, sit at a restaurant by myself like a douchebag and just like stare at people, try to, you know, stay off of my phone and everything. I'm not doing that. So I'm like, I want to be where there's music, where there's like energy, and where is that? At a show, at a bar. At least in Austin, if you know any other place, or a comedy show.
Right. I think that just piggybacking off of what you just said, it does become becomes more of a hassle, and you pick your battles more. Like what you're both saying, like you pick the ones that are the show that I have to see this. But for me, again, with being in your 20s, like you're kind of riding this roller coaster of doing everything all the time. And at this point in my life, I feel like I need some sort of a return on things, and it's hard for me to justify going out. Like if I know I could work on my own stuff at home, and then when I'm out at shows, honestly, sometimes I get overwhelmed because I do just want to use it as a chance to recharge and watch something. But especially at local hip hop shows, I run into a lot of people who want to like talk, and I like those people, but being like around 30 people who all come up to you like within an hour.
It's tough to do.
And then sometimes whenever I'm at like if I go to you know, because most of the stuff I like to shoot, you know, is like techno house shows and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Well, two of the places I used to go shoot at are closed now, so they're gone. Right. So there's fewer places for me to even shoot at, and on top of that, most of the time, you know, I'm getting the typical, you know, group of people. Hey, take a picture of me. Take a picture of me. I'm like, well, I'm not here to take pictures of you.
But don't shoot. I'm talking about going out without shooting. Like, forget the work. Just walk out your door without your camera. When's the last time that happened?
My camera's always in my car.
You're talking to two people who I think are like, what do you mean go out but don't work?
Well, see, for me, like whenever I'm driving on the road, like I'm probably am a bad driver, because it's not because like I'm on my phone or something like that. I'm more like I'm driving. I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool place to shoot, or oh, that'd be cool. You know, I'm scoping out. Like there's always something I see that I'm like, oh, I want to shoot that, or I want to shoot there, this, that. You know, I'm always that's how my brain is always working.
I mean, that's fascinating, but that's weird. Because I'm from the school of, like, everybody got their, well, maybe not maybe going out is not it, but everybody got their thing that they can't live without. Like they gotta do that. For some people it's video games, some people it's, you know, photography, some people it's porn, some people it's whatever, but or all three. But it's, to me, like once you're in it, you know, you forget everything else. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's always been, well, music, video games, and porn. But the point is, or at least the first two, at least. But like music is huge to me, because the only time I can really enjoy myself, it's either in my car, I'm just jamming, but I know I'm going from point A to point B as soon as it. Like I've stayed in my car until like the end of a song or something. We've all done that, right?
Yeah.
We've all done that.
And then you hit the next song.
Even if it's your own, even if it's your own iPod. Like I sit there, I'm like, I'm not. I gotta finish this. But I'm big on energy and being around people with a lot of energy. And if at home it's always like quiet, or you live by yourself or whatever, and then you're like, I need some stimulant. Like I'm not gonna do coke or anything, but I need something to really like, you know, make me feel alive again type deal. You know, and that's why that was my reason for going out as much as I did in my 20s. Mm-hmm. And I feel like as I'm older now, like I still need that shit, not as often, but you know, I get it when I can.
But do you feel like it's been replaced by other things? Because I like being at shows, but I like being there like music or comedy shows, I like there when I am there with like people that I'm excited to talk to, watch perform, or I'm also doing it. I like that social, but whereas maybe I would have charged myself with social energy 5 nights out of the week in my 20s, now it's maybe like 1 night out of the week. Because even last night, my girlfriend was like, we cracked open a bottle of wine and we're watching Drag Race, and she was like, Saturday night.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
this is the party I want to be at.
Well, let me ask y'all this: like, what y'all do for New Year's Eve? What do you do?
Well, you know, so for me, it was a roller coaster for me and my family. I lost my dad.
That's right.
Back in August to cancer. So I think a lot of us we're happy the holidays were here, but we were ready for them to be over.
Right.
And you know, it is typical. New year, new beginnings, stuff like that. So yeah, it was kind of like a turn the page, you know, kind of move forward. So we just hung out at my brother's house. My sister's girlfriend, the DJ, set up a DJ booth and just played music all night. Salsa music, which my dad loved. Then like hip hop music and stuff like that. My sister had a photo booth. We just hung out for a family, and my girlfriend was there, and we were just there. I think it was like 1:30. Went home and went to bed. 1:30. Well, we got home.
Two.
We got home around 2.
We went to 2.
We got home at bar time, but we had left around 1:30. It was like, you know, we were just ready to go.
What about you? What was yours?
Oh man, it was.
Do you watch a marathon of Drag Race?
No. It was crazy. We went to Chewy's.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I have questions. We'll go for it. Go ahead.
I like to see how ringing into your Chewy's sounds.
Okay, so here's what happened.
Hold on. What is the decision making?
I'll tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
So
New Year's at Chewy's.
She and I basically had been super broke through all of December, and the holidays really put us back. And she started a new job, and she got her first paycheck on the 30th. And so we were finally, like, for the first time in a month or two, in a position where we're like, we're not panicked about money. We're like, let's go get something really indulgent. We decided we wanted Tex-Mex. It was hard to find anything that was open because it was New Year's Eve. Chewy's was open. So we went there and we're like, we're just going to get a meal here and pig out. We're not going to spend the countdown there or anything. But basically we got all this food and we're like, yeah, this is what we wanted, indulgence. And then after that we went to the Grand, the bar we like, so we could get some beers and count down with around people.
You went to where?
The Grand. It's over on Airport. It's by Cold Town. It's like
okay. It's a bar?
It's a bar.
Okay, got it.
But basically we ate too much Tex-Mex and could barely sip our beers and just felt really gross and burpy.
That's what Chewy's does, dude.
And we went home early and did a shot of whiskey together and bought a cheap bottle of J. Roget and champagne, popped it in the front yard, and like that was it. We like kissed at midnight, drank a little champagne, and stood and looked wistfully at the world and thought about what our goals were. I actually did do that.
If y'all don't know, man, P-Tek is a romantic.
I mean, he is a writer, man. He's got scripts going all day. 24/7.
Oh yeah, like I'm sure this was all planned.
Prescriptions.
You man, and so you were out by what, 12:30?
Yeah, I mean Chewy's was just like let's eat fatty food because we can afford to for this night, and let's go out on a bang. And then it went sideways on us. But yeah, I mean, I probably stay. The thing is, I stay up until like 3:30 every night, no matter what. I'm just a night owl.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't trying to like party or anything. I did want to market. I know a lot of people think that New Year's Eve is arbitrary, but I do like to take a moment and kind of reflect and think about what reset my brain a little bit.
That's interesting. Because we've all done crazy New Year's Eve. Again, we're gonna sound like 3 old men. I remember in my 20s, New Year's Eve. Oh my God, we were out till the second.
New Year's Eve story or two from the 20s.
Go for it.
From my 20s.
Go for it.
No.
Did it involve like a Tex-Mex?
No. See, that's the kind of crazy that I'm into now. But no, I mean
everything's relative. This is crazy now.
I've been there for the drinking too much and
no, but I mean it's
the New Year's thing that you do in your 20s.
It's this amateur night. That's how I call it. Because there's people who don't go out much all year long, and then New Year's Eve they go, we gotta get fucked up. We gotta go downtown, and by the time it's midnight, you don't even remember what year it is. But like my New Year's Eve was, what did I do? Oh, cook some lamb. So at home, baby was in bed by 8. Doesn't fucking know. It's like just another day to him.
You didn't wake him up for the countdown?
Hell no!
He's on a schedule.
No. Look, if he can sleep the entire night, that's a victory. It's like we do a victory dance when that happens because he had surgery back in September, open heart surgery, and then it took him like 6 weeks to recover. And so for a while he was sleeping through the night, and then now it's like our fucking teeth are growing. It fucking hurts. Mm-hmm. And he's drooling all over the place, and he's screaming. He wakes up, he's hungry, and I'm like, dude, we'll try to feed you all kinds of shit you won't eat. But anyway, so he was in bed by 8 o'clock like he usually is, and we're like, all right, cool. Now we're gonna make something. And the thing is, like, guilty. I was looking through people's Instagram, going, what the fuck are people doing? And seeing pictures of people partying, W or wherever, and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, just settle for it. Yeah. That's it for what I got. So we had some lamb, made a nice meal. I baked the apple pie. Apple pie, French apple pie. I don't know what the fuck you guys put cinnamon in apple pie all the time, but that's gotta go. No, but
I was like, hold on.
It's like apple pie. I don't. What the hell's wrong with you? No, but I do this apple pie that my mom taught me. So I did that with ice cream, warm, really good. If you ever come by the house, let me know.
Table for 2 for me.
All right, you're up. Yeah. If you can babysit the baby, I'd be happy to.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Uh-oh. Girlfriend has spoken, or she gasped. So it is happening. I have witnesses.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, and we watched that Bandersnatch shit.
Okay, that show.
Oh, you did that on
New Year's Eve? Yeah, because I was...
New Year's Eve, oh.
Yeah, because I thought, if we're going to watch a movie, first of all, there was no movie that I really wanted to watch. I wanted to watch, like, one thing. Because if we started watching a series or catching up on some other show, we would have been up till, like, 4 in the morning, and be up 2 hours later because that's when the baby wakes up. So we're like, let's watch one thing.
Right. So,
watch that Bandersnatch shit. And on Netflix, if you guys haven't watched it, it's choose your adventure type of deal, and it's the only show where it's like there's no time. You can't fast forward or anything, right? Because you got to go through all the different scenarios and story plots and decision points. I kept passing out.
What's up, guys?
I kept passing out. Like every time there was a decision to make, I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't even remember.
So you just did it like completely arbitrarily.
I really did.
It's so funny that everyone on the internet, there's all these memes of people being like, oh, it was so heartbreaking for me to make this choice. And
what, Frosties or Cheerios or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, I can't.
Like, whatever.
And then I think I saw the same meme. He's like, I can't choose between sugar flakes or frosted flakes or something like that. And he's like, but kill or chop up the body. I got this. Like, like make a quick decision.
I mean, it's a good concept. I think it's if that's like the precursor to where movies are gonna go.
See, but here's the thing though. For me, it's not a precursor.
What?
This is just a recycling of what I did growing up playing video games.
Yeah, but it's like movie form.
Sega Saturn.
Yeah, but it's in movie
way
form.
Back in the day.
Yes.
So I actually wrote when I was in film school, my senior thesis that I had to write. I wrote like about what is digital cinema, where is it going, what is the difference between digital cinema. I'm 33.
No, how old were you when you wrote that?
When I wrote it, 22.
Okay.
But it's basically like this idea that everyone calls, at least at the time, was calling all digital movies films, and kind of exploring what are the different, without getting too like esoteric, like what are the differences between analog storytelling that is a film strip that moves in one direction, and digital, which is infinite information all happening at once. And I spent a lot of time talking about how I thought Choose Your Own Adventure was going to be happening, but also saying, that being said, it's being done in video games for a long time. Right. If you look at it and you're saying, well, this is a narrative that normally we're used to our narratives being controlled by the creator, and now you're saying that some of the control of that narrative goes into the hands of the user. I mean, like, yeah, I think Bandersnatch, because it's Black Mirror and Netflix, gets positioned to be like a mind-blowing thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's anything new. And
No.
honestly, I don't want to like. Okay, I don't want to be an old man here.
Too late.
Because there
Well, I think we've established that we're
Right.
pretty old men just talking about the good old days.
I don't want to ramble too much. I think it would be cool to see more things taking on that and perfecting like the intricacies of interactive storytelling. But at the same time, I don't really want to go to the movie theater and sit with a bunch of people with little buttons like we're on a reality show.
Yeah.
I
Be
want
like,
people to be able to craft this narrative that exists for this many minutes and has a beginning, middle, and end and was thought out and planned. Like,
Yeah.
I don't trust audiences enough to tell me stories that are better than good storytellers.
Well, one, the fact that it's Black Mirror, you're right. It's supposed to like blow your mind, and there was a big like promo push in the middle of it when he goes, "Who's this? Show me a sign" or whatever. And then it's like Netflix or some other shit.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of kind of humor.
Yeah, and then he goes, "What the fuck is
wrapped into
Netflix?
that.
It's 1984." But anyway,
They say that?
Yeah, there's a part in the show where he's trying to figure out who's controlling his thoughts.
Yeah. Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched it, too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but honestly, that's so grown-worthy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, whenever I was watching it, I was like, okay, I can see they're trying to make it funny. They're trying to put, you know, like most horror, like some horror movies, they have that funny thing that you're like, wow, that's...
Yeah, they did that.
See,
They
that's
want
just
that.
did that.
Neverending Story. That's just the end of Neverending Story, where the childlike empress says to him, like, as you were following Atreyu, other people have been watching you this whole time, and then he looks into the camera. Like, it's this whole thing of like, you're part of the story too.
Yeah.
And I guess since that was my favorite movie as a kid, I guess
I mean, it's a
I'm
great
slightly
film.
resentful of Netflix trying to be like, wait till you hear this.
Well,
sick
but
idea.
like you kind of brought up the whole video game thing, like okay, so when I watched Bandersnatch and I didn't watch it on New Year's.
Oh, that was my Year.
But,
what are you trying to say,
No,
dude?
I watched it recently, so it's a little bit fresh on my mind. And I probably don't give films that are new or shows that are new a clean mind when I watch it. I'm always analyzing it and seeing what they're trying to bite off of or rip off from.
Okay.
And the whole time I was watching Bandersnatch, I was thinking like, wow, I remember like every Sega CD game was like that, or even more recently, Telltale games.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They have games, you know, they do. I mean, the big one that they did was
They did Batman.
they did Batman, but they also did Walking Dead.
Yeah.
They've done Borderlands. They've done games where you have to pay attention. You have a controller. You got to interact with the game, but it's not your typical first person, third person game. It's just, you know, like a live comic strip that you interact with. So that's the whole time I was thinking that, you know. But it was interesting. I could see what they're gonna try and do, and I mean, it basically is a big like, you know, kind of a mind fuck really.
It is.
Of a concept for people that aren't old men, you know, that grew up with Sega CD and all that older stuff that are doing now, to a newer audience and younger audience, and you know, it basically is a promo for the next season that's coming up.
Right.
Also, sorry, go ahead.
No, but I was gonna go somewhere else, but if you wanna.
Well, I just wanted to say like that every generation has things that are recycled. And
Right. That's the point I was trying to
that's
make.
true.
Yeah.
We will always get caught into it, and you'll always end up being the quote unquote old man or something. And so I never want to. Like, I always want to give things a fresh shot. I'm not trying to shit on Bandersnatch because I haven't seen it.
Now you're gonna have to.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, they say that good artists invent, great artists steal. And to a certain extent, those ideas will circle back around. And it is a little corny of me to, like, criticize it for being similar to an 80s movie, which I just did. But at the same time, I do agree. That being said, I do completely agree that Netflix traffics in nostalgia in a way that is so bold-faced that it turns me off. And that's honestly why I'm not why I didn't really ride the Stranger Things wave as much. Because I was like, I really like what you're doing, you have some great ideas, but man, you really want to be this one thing that already exists and has for a while.
Well, think of it this way. I mean, there's no, you know, think of Hollywood. Think in terms of music, TV shows. Everything's a remake.
Oh yeah.
Everything. I mean, there's no new ideas anymore.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I'll agree with that.
I mean,
but I would also say I think when it comes to like Hollywood, there's very very little originality.
None.
For me, and I'm a gamer.
There's none.
I'm a
they have
gamer
Aladdin,
for the
fucking
most part.
Will Sprint.
Well, I'm a
Will
gamer
Smith,
for the
man.
most part, and a lot of, to me, some of the fresh writing and ideas for games. Yeah, they have some, sci-fi elements from other things, but I mean, for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, like Assassin's Creed, for me, that was like a completely like fresh idea.
No, it was.
And that game series completely took off to a whole crazy world now. But that idea was pretty cool for me.
But now Hollywood and movie and TV got to compete with video games. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption for months now, and I'm nowhere near the end because I'm fishing, I'm hunting, I'm fucking, I'm killing people, I'm going to looking for Easter eggs and robbing banks and shit.
Building your own nice little life out here.
Yes, seriously. I mean, it's and they have actors in it. Like the game is like 100 hours long or some shit. You think The Last of Us or God of War, the new God of War, Red Dead Redemption.
You got like
Horizon something.
Even the new Spiderman.
The new Spiderman was pretty good.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, unless you're Game of Thrones, or you're The Wire, or Breaking Bad, or Walking Dead, like those big epic shows where you actually see a whole progression and the plot twists and things are still interesting by season 3, 4, 5.
It's hard, man.
But
it's hard.
you got nothing.
In today's world, it's hard for shows to go past season 4,
season
5.
1.
I mean,
they cancel shit all the time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, or that's if you're NBC.
I think you really touched on something by pointing out how the 100 hours of a game, the TV show's 4th or 5th season, and that competition between TV and video games with Hollywood is the runtime, is the amount of time you have to tell your story. And I think that when you have a shorter amount of time, you do need to hit the familiar beats of stories. I would, however, argue that remakes in Hollywood are not new, because like the early days of Hollywood, you would maybe have the same Sherlock Holmes story adapted 3 or 4 times in 2 years. And Hitchcock remade his own movies. A lot of people, like, remakes were very, very, like, you'd have the remakes every few years back in the 30s, but that's when no home video. You missed it in theater. It's gone. So let's make a new version of it and put it out again.
And that's happened. I mean, that happened in the '90s. You had Tombstone and Wired Earp came out the next year.
Yeah, little genre booms, and I think that always happens. But I honestly think that the reason video games and television are beating film right now, other than massive films like the Marvel movies, which are event movies you have to see, is the number of hours. Because I think that when you said 100 hours, I was like, oh, that's it. It's that it's so much more time. You can be original if you have the time to explore character. But if you have 2 hours to tell it, it's like, well, here's the hero before hero, here's the hero until they're their hero.
Well, I mean, think about like the event, like you brought up Avengers. I mean, 10 years of films, and it's like, what, 30 films?
I don't care. I don't know.
Like
13?
close. I thought it was more than that for some reason.
Like
the whole Marvel 18? Cinematic Universe.
I don't think it's 30. 30 sounds a lot. That's all, I mean, it's only within the last like 15 years.
But then you had the TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. Okay. And you had the Netflix shit.
And then you had the Netflix stuff. So I mean, but I mean, a lot of those things are running its course.
And Marvel's running. I think Marvel is surfing that wave because they get to do 2-hour movies that are easily digestible, but they're also playing a serialized long-form story because they're all connected.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a cheat code to it. They get to be a TV show with a $200 million budget every time.
Right. So see that's big enough to where you can still keep up and pay attention, right? So it's closer to like a video game universe, right? Or anime universe where everything's connected and you see Easter eggs and references. I get that. But I think the whole idea, because I'm picturing a meeting of executives, for a new movie, and they go, okay, we need a new movie. We need to introduce blah 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 to the younger audience. So we're gonna bring back all the fucking Disney movies. We're gonna make them live action, or we're gonna bring back Mary Poppins, or we're gonna bring back like classics, or 21 Jump Street, or whatever, or because I don't think I've seen one. Well, first of all, I don't watch them, but I haven't seen one that actually was like, oh, you know what? This was a dope remake, or you just change the entire cast and change it to women, and now it's supposed to be
there
this
was one.
big...
There was one that popped in my head. That
Which
was
one?
a Disney remake. Maleficent was one of my favorites.
Oh, that was really because that was like it wasn't just a remake.
It wasn't a remake. They took the idea of Sleeping Beauty and completely told a different story.
That was different perspective on Sleeping
It was
Beauty.
just a completely different story.
Okay, that's fair.
So, but I'm not big I haven't seen it yet because I've already seen an animated film and everybody told me that it's exactly the same movie as Beauty and the Beast. I'm like, well, why are you gonna remake the same movie?
Mm-hmm.
But just with Emma Watson, was it Emma Watson?
Yeah.
That was the main. So I mean, like, they're going star power to try and draw people.
Right.
So,
Beauty and the Beast, I have to admit, I saw the first clip they released from, which was the live action version of Belle, the first song. Like,
right.
Little Town.
Yeah.
Song. And it made me be like, I haven't seen the animated one in a while, and I rewatched the animated one, and I was like, this movie's nearly perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
Oh, the original
animated one
Beast.
is amazing. It's an amazing
movie.
movie.
The animated one is, yeah.
Yeah, the animated one, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably didn't watch the live action one because of it.
I haven't seen the live action one.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Jungle Book, though, and that was my one. The live action Jungle Book remake was sick.
No, it was
I haven't
dope.
seen that one.
Because
I've
only
seen
one
Mowgli,
actor.
Though.
There's only one actor.
And because the original Jungle Book, I'm just going to say, is not Disney's best movie. It's kind of from their 70s recycled animation period.
Yep.
Sure.
And I feel like if you're going to remake something, take something that has good ideas that you can expound on and improve. But if you're like talking Beauty and the Beast and Lion King, you're talking about two of the most perfect animated features ever made.
And
Why
Aladdin.
are you trying to get in there? I'm not like...
Okay, so how did you feel? How did you feel when you saw Will Smith as the genie on the poster
I don't know.
for Aladdin?
I guess
Did you see that shit?
I'm sorry. Like Robin Williams was one of my all-time favorite actors. In anything, stand up,
Yep.
TV, film, animation, whatever. So it's going to be hard for me to put my childhood aside. Like what I was talking about earlier, trying to come with a clean mind into something new. It's going to be really hard for me to watch Will Smith, but then just try and like keep Robin Williams out of my head.
I can't, honestly, because there was a documentary. There's the Robin Williams documentary on HBO. If you haven't seen it, it's fucking dope.
New?
Yeah, it came out a few months ago.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, really good, really good about his entire life and all that. But there's another documentary about how Aladdin was made, and how the illustrators went and saw a Robin Williams show and made the genie after Robin Williams.
Oh, I mean,
so they animated like Robin Williams's bits, like jokes, into the genie, and that's how they came up with the genie based on Robin. So when I see Will Smith, I'm like, okay, Will Smith, yeah, he's funny, but he's not like, he can't do, like, most of the stuff that was in Aladdin, in the animated Aladdin, was Robin Williams just ad-libbing.
Yeah.
A lot of it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of it,
Most of it was, yes. And I don't see Will Smith doing that. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, and so I don't see Will Smith with that kind of witty, quick, like, comedy mind. I don't see it.
Yeah. Why?
And plus, he's got to be blue.
He has said that he's gonna be blue.
Really?
He's like, on social
Mr.
media. He said he's gonna be blue.
I had an emotional roller coaster with that. Not emotional roller coaster.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So when I first heard live action Aladdin, first thought, obviously, who's the genie?
Right.
There's no way you can top Robin Williams.
You can't.
When I heard that it was Will Smith, I was like, that's a brilliant move because he's super, super charming, but not in a way that is at all similar to Robin Williams. So I'm actually really excited to see Will Smith's take on it.
No, you're curious.
When I saw the picture, I was like, not like this.
I was not excited at all.
He could look kind of like Goro from Mortal Kombat.
He looked like Shazam.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah,
he looks like fucking Shazam.
I'm saying with the bald head, with the
thing. I think Sinbad.
I thought Mortal Kombat.
Wait, that movie doesn't exist.
What?
Shazam with Sinbad.
No, I mean.
You mean Kazam with Shaq?
No, there was Shazam with Shaq.
No, it was Kazam.
It was Kazam.
Shazam with Sinbad is a movie that exists only in our imaginations.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Well, I'm thinking Sinbad when I saw him.
There is a Shazam coming out later this year though, based off the DC.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for
that.
Yeah, it's DC. Who cares?
I think that's probably the only DC movie that I'll actually, because I like the actor Zachary Levi. He was on one of my favorite shows, Chuck.
Yeah.
And I think he'll do a good job with that character, acting like a kid as a superhero, like a grown man superhero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way he was in Chuck and other things, like he has that I think it'll be good.
I don't know the story of Shazam, but have you seen Aquaman?
I have not seen it.
Have you?
I want to.
Do you want to?
I will wait. You know what? It's just for me. I think growing up, like I did read DC comics. The only character that I felt like I could relate to was Batman because he was a normal dude.
Billionaire, maybe.
I mean, granted, outside of him having a crap ton of money, but he was a person.
Right.
You know, you can't relate to Superman or like unless you like really. I mean, and as a kid, you're not gonna dive into the whole deep of like the alien thing. You're not gonna get all deep into it. So, but then when you got into Marvel comics, you like. You know, I got into Marvel Comics because my dad, and he grew up when those comics were getting made. And he grew up in the 60s, X-Men, and it was more about, like, you know, people not fearing what they didn't understand. It was more deeper meanings to it that was right on the surface. You could see it. You know, Captain America, you know, all those Marvel characters that we all love and know, like Spiderman, it was about his teenage years. It's like, they were more relatable.
Right.
DC was just more on this other spectrum for me.
Stories about gods.
Right.
Marvel tells us stories about people.
Right.
With
is that a shirt?
Responsibility.
Yeah. I think it's just more humanized.
I think so too. I mean, I never cared for. Well, Batman's story I think is more compelling than any other ones.
Right.
Aquaman, I didn't think anybody would care. I really didn't. If you watch Justice League, the cartoon back in the day, the Hanna-Barbera one, nobody cared about Aquaman.
Aquaman looked dumb.
Yeah, it did. Like, whenever they need dolphins to, like, ride across the ocean, call Aquaman. That was about it. Nobody cared.
They're fighting Darkseid.
Yeah, it's like, unless the enemy was on water, like, Aquaman can't do shit. So, and then when I saw the trailer, I'm thinking, okay, it's another one of those movies that, like, okay, here's a guy, he's special, and then he finds out he's special, and then now he got his special power, so he got to do some shit because some other guy who thinks he's special wants his special power. It's usually the same fucking story.
Yeah.
And there's a girl along the way, and I can't say that I was never a fan of superhero movies because of that, because it's basically the same, you know, the epic story. You know, as a writer, you're probably familiar with the structure of that. It's like, it's always the same thing. And I'm like, unless there's the story's compelling or the characters are compelling, like, I can sit down and watch it, but I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, but for superhero movies, it's really hard though.
To stay outside of that?
Well, I'm saying, but just, I mean, like we were saying earlier, you only have what, two and a half hours to tell an origin story for a movie. Let's say like the first X-Men movie came out, what, 2000?
Yeah.
I saw it and I don't know, like I just from the very beginning, I just did not like that movie. Like the opening scene and just how they I understand they're trying to make it more real, like trying to like harness that realness to it, but I mean 2000 I was just barely getting out of high school, like I was still reading comic books, like I was like, no, I want to see like like the old 1993 animated thing come out, you know, like I wanted that kind of X-Men movie. I wanted, like, if you're gonna make an origin story, I want the 5 original and just start from there and then go from there, which is what they've done recently. But when it first came out, it's hard to tell origin story, and then it's hard to cater to a new fan base versus a, you know, comic book character fan base. You got to find that balance, and I couldn't do it as a writer or director or whatever.
Well, if you flesh it out over multiple ones, I mean, I think the Dark Knight series was pretty good.
Yeah, when you're talking about that, like, everything looks kind of deep blue and everyone's real serious. That kind of superhero movie, X-Men started that, and I liked it when I was younger. But I think that Spider-Man is the first modern comic book movie. I think
which
that
one? Because there's been like 6 or 7.
I'm talking about Raimi's Spider-Man 2002.
Oh man,
first one. Because I think
Tobey Maguire one?
Yeah, because X-Men, the first one, was very self-serious, and I feel like the first time people were like, oh, this is what a Marvel comic feels like on the screen was Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, you're right, because I felt like it did capture those moments where when I would watch like fight scenes and it would have like a little Spider-Man quip of him like saying something smartassy, and then I would go back to him do his, like it did have that
also
comic
just
book
color palette that's nice to look at.
The what?
The color palette.
It did have, no, the colors were like super. No, it was just like super vibrant colors, and it was just, you know, yeah. No, I agree with that first Spider-Man, but man, Spider-Man 3. Ooh.
Spider-Man 3.
Is that the one when he dances down the street?
Oh yeah, whenever
No,
they introduced
that was
the symbiote.
I hate it.
Symbiote.
Listen, listeners of this podcast,
Uh-oh.
the jazz sequence in Spider-Man 3 is one of the coolest and bravest sequences
You gonna
in a
defend
Hollywood
this?
movie ever made.
You mean ironic, or you gonna defend this?
No, I love that sequence. I think that movie is insanely flawed for a number of reasons.
But okay, then there's just
that
sequence.
sequence I just think is so like balls to the wall, goofy, and I just respect it.
It's one of those ones where you gotta, you're almost embarrassed to watch it.
But you're supposed to be.
But you're supposed
to. He's cool. And he's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, but it's over the top. It's so out of character. I don't know.
I'm not saying everyone's gotta love it, but I will always stand for that sequence.
All right, whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy.
I was going from that series of Spider-Man movies to the Homecoming. I think
I haven't seen that one either.
What I loved about Homecoming is that you finally got to see so the first Spider-Man in the Sam Raimi ones, and then the comic booky, like it was very like you feel like it was like almost like palettes of just like pages being flipped.
Uh-huh.
They did that with Homecoming, but now you can see the emotion in Spider-Man. Like it actually made his eyes move. So it added that element to it, and I was like, here we go. Now this is what we're talking about, and I thought Tom Holland did an awesome job.
I haven't seen
Spider-Man.
it. I haven't seen it.
He's
But
awesome.
But here, so now we've seen talking about video games and movies. Can you name one adaptation of a video game into movie that worked? Because I can't. I think Mortal Kombat in 1995, 1994, whatever that shit was. That was hilarious.
95, 96, something like that.
Yeah, there was Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, that was god awful.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
They did
yeah,
Doom.
Jean-Claude Van Damme playing Lieutenant, United
Guile, he
States
played
Lieutenant Guile.
Yes.
Like, that just doesn't. I was waiting for the hair. Like that's
Apparently, he was on a coke binge.
Yes, I read that.
He was?
I read an article. He was like
Oh my
just
God.
completely coked out the whole time.
Horrible. It did Doom. There was a Doom with
The Rock.
with the
was
Rock.
in it. Yeah, that was.
Resident Evil, which has
I would
nothing
say,
to do
I would
with.
say the most successful franchise has been Resident Evil.
I would go out and say Resident Evil is probably like, as a fan of the games.
But it has nothing to do with the game, though.
It has very little to do with the game.
And nothing to do with the game.
But I enjoyed it, and Marilyn Manson did the score.
I mean, you can't go. And then I don't know.
Think about it, like because they're talking about they've been talking about doing an Uncharted movie for a long time.
I hope they don't.
The best video game movie is not based on a video game. It is Edge of Tomorrow. That is the best.
Is that the one where Tom Cruise keeps going over and over again?
Yeah.
See, that's cool.
Was that Emily Blunt?
It feels
was
like
in that one too, right?
one of those Metroid game where you keep dying and you start over.
Just figure out the patterns.
Yes.
That's the best movie about video games that isn't based on a video game.
Okay, good point. I'll give you that.
I'm waiting for another Tron movie.
Why?
Because I mean,
introduce it to the new generation, to the younger generation. No, leave it where it's at.
Tron Legacy was the best 3D movie, other than Avatar, that I saw. Because there was Avatar. When I saw Avatar, it was like in your face kind of 3D.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you're like, oh my gosh, you're like looking around the room, you think there's things floating around you. Tron was a completely different one. You actually felt the depth of every part of the grid. Like you were like, dude's like 50 meters away, and it was a really good 3D film. And then on top of that, Daft Punk did the soundtrack for it too.
All right,
so.
okay, the music part is
I don't know. I just.
Well, okay. To go back to like Bandersnatch and all that stuff, Choose Your Own Adventure. I think if down the road you go to the movie theater, right, and you put in the VR goggles. Let's assume that it's cheap by then, and you're in the movie, and it's basically Choose Your Own Adventure in the sense that you look wherever you want to look. So whatever you're experiencing, because of where you're looking and what you're paying attention to in that scene, could be different from your neighbors. So it is kind of a choose your own adventure type deal. And I think if that's where movies are going to be, let's say 5, 10, 20 years down the road, like that'd be dope. Because that I think that could probably save the movie industry. If it's not just I sit here for 2 hours and I watch this shit that I've already seen, what everybody's been talking about, or it's a remake or whatever. Now it's actually an experience like people want to, sell you all the time.
That seems more like a step backwards for VR than a step forward. For
right.
movies. because
but
it's VR with no interactivity. I mean, I get that, but that is like purely digital world, and I think part of my romantic attachment to film is this idea that you're using the camera. All you can use the camera for is to capture things that already exist, but direct the frame in such a way that you're pointing out something that you wouldn't notice by just standing in the room. So the camera as an eye that is the only eye given to the viewer is much different, like philosophically, than the environment is what we're giving to the viewer.
So you're saying like it would take someone's job out of the picture because you're...
I'm just saying I don't want it to replace traditional.
I don't think I don't think you're ever gonna get rid of movie theaters and traditional films, especially when you got good directors and writers out there. I mean, you got like Christopher Nolan. That's like like his movies.
Right. So that's
one of those
original.
Movies, like you have to really like. I mean, sure, Inception's like the first one, but for the first one, I remember watching. I might be misplacing directors, but Memento was like one of the movies that I remember watching in a theater.
You have to watch it many times to get.
I had to watch that so many.
Yes.
I at least probably watched it in a theater 3 or 4 times to try and figure out what did I just watch. Yeah.
Memento, have you seen it?
Memento was like when I was peak junior high film nerd. I bought it on tape and watched it over.
Yeah, I had to watch that like a few times.
Like there's a diagram I think on the DVD or something that shows you
in order on the DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, you can?
There's a certain a certain like code you gotta go through the menu, and it'll play the movie
like forward,
like from end to end.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Because the movie has like it's playing backwards and
there's
like
two
timelines
timelines,
timelines
crossing
happening at the same time. Yeah.
But see that like to me, that's the kind of shit I like to watch. Like, just if I'm watching a movie or a TV show and it's like within the 5 minutes I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's gonna happen. It's not gonna get me. Like I was surprised when I started watching. We watched Breaking Bad a couple of years ago. We were probably one of the last ones to watch it. But it took me a while, and I was like, "Holy shit! How did they come up with this?" You know, and it really blew your mind. The Wire is another one that
I've been slowly trying to watch that show.
The Wire? Oh man,
I've heard great things about it. So, and I mean, I think it's not on anymore. So
it's been done for a decade now, probably. Yeah. Hello. You don't see all the show? You on the mic? My son is here, everybody.
I'm out later.
It's like I'm out. All right, never mind.
I don't want it.
Start to speak, and I'll give you a mic. I'll give you 6 months. He's about to be a year old on Friday. Anyway, no, but I mean that's what hooks me. Like I've been watching, like Ray Donovan on Showtime. I love the way the characters are, fleshed out. What's another show I'm watching these days? And you know what's funny is that now when you talk to people, like that's like the go-to. Like, oh, have you watched this on Netflix?
Right.
Oh, have you watched that on Netflix? Have you watched this documentary? Oh my God, you have to watch blah blah blah. Black Mirror was the one for a while when it first came out, and now it's like, oh, you have to watch Bandersnatch and fucking Bird Box and what's the one that everybody's talking about now?
I've heard people talking about this show.
Look, there's so much.
Yeah, it is an oversaturation when it comes to this.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just being bombarded with shows is like I can't stop.
You feel bad for it?
I don't feel bad. I feel boxed in by Netflix because they are the best at manufactured hype. So they can put something out and they don't need to worry about the reviews. They can create a bunch of memes that are ready to be dropped on the internet as soon as it premieres, and then they can like throw ads into all your feeds, and then it does become this essential water cooler conversation.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you have to see it if you want to talk to people. But Bird Box never looked like I don't want to.
Did you see it?
No, because I didn't think it looked very good, and
Don't. I mean, it
didn't seem like something I'd be into.
So,
go ahead. No. I want your. Okay.
Okay.
You want to go first?
You want to rock paper scissors over it?
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Oh wait.
What the hell?
1, 2, 3 hit.
Oh my bad.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3 hit. All right, go ahead.
I'll go first.
Bird Box review by Alex. Everybody.
So, it felt I can see why a lot of people were into it, but again, it's just my crutch. I can't watch a movie without thinking of other films, and all I could do was watch it, and I felt like it was a few different M. Night Shyamalan movies wrapped into one movie.
That's a good point.
It was like The Village meets The Signs meets The Happening.
Meet Quiet Place.
You know,
and Quiet. What's the movie?
Yeah.
And then I've heard a lot of people call. I haven't seen.
I haven't
Quiet
seen
Place
that either, but that's what people say.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't as much hype as it's gotten, and how much viewership that it got. It doesn't, to me. I think that's where a lot of people get misled on movies.
Yes,
is
thank
because
you.
like, oh, it got X amount of views, because that's what the metric is nowadays.
Yeah,
like how many views on Netflix did it get, or
in a couple of
or
days,
like in
a week or whatever.
Yeah, or like how much did it make in the box office in the opening weekend. You know, and I think, you know, like everybody, and again, going back to me being a Star Wars fan, I'll go back to Bird Box, but when Solo came out, 40, like when it was like halfway through the movie, I looked at my girlfriend and I was like, this movie is awesome. Like this is the next best movie than Rogue One, outside of like the original Star Wars story.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, but then everybody crushed it because it didn't make a bunch of money. But it ended up making a whole bunch of money anyway.
Right.
But the opening weekend, it didn't make the standard.
Think about all the great movies that bombed at the box office, like The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing was a total bomb. Blade Runner.
But they're classics though, and people that watched it when it came out, like they're like, yeah, I was there when I watched it.
Well, my thing with Bird Box, and I'm not gonna go as deep as I was thinking of other thing. I was really trying to focus and trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. Do you know the premise of it?
A Bird Box?
Yeah.
You can't. It's boggarts. That's what I got.
It's what?
The boggart from Harry Potter. That it's a monster that when you look at it, it's what you're scared of most.
Right.
Yeah. Except you die.
Or
You have to die?
you
Yeah.
kill, like you end
You
up
end up,
killing
like,
yourself.
committing
or,
suicide.
yeah.
That's a great concept.
That's where I got
No,
the happening
that's the thing.
idea.
What Netflix is good at coming up with concept, but execution is horrible.
See, I got burnt by Cloverfield. That was what I was burnt by, and I think that's why I'm like, I don't trust you, Netflix, and you're little like, oh, I'm gonna 98% match you on this. No, you're not.
No, you're gonna like this, Adam. You're gonna like this. No, but so Bird Box, and as soon as I start watching, within 10 minutes, I have so many questions just about the plot. And I'm the completionist, if that's the word. Like, I want to know, by the time the movie ends, I better know everything. Otherwise, it's just wasting my time. I mean, there's.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that.
When I got that's
now,
where
or it's a Christopher Nolan movie, and I'm still like, oh wow, okay, I get it. That was deep, and I see why they did X, Y, and Z. Right. But Bird Box, I was like, okay, so she covers her eyes, and she's on this journey with her eyes covered. How the fuck does that work? First of all, and who are these monsters? Why are they there? And some people try to come up with all kinds of deep theories, like it's an allegory for, you know, connecting with people, and how like she's all cut off, and she's blind to the rest of the world, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no.
Well, her character did kind of have like a weird kind of
but it's
view
not.
of things.
It's I mean, to my taste, again, this is just my opinion. It's not explained well, and by the time the movie's done, it's like a big joke to me. It's like a big joke.
I thought The Village.
Yeah. And still watch
You
it,
get to the end
Adam.
of The
Still
Village,
watch
you're
it.
like, really?
Get high, get some wine,
Yeah.
or whatever the thing you were drinking for New Year's
Okay,
Eve.
can I go back on another New Year's resolution? One of my resolutions is to get back into trying to watch movies I haven't seen, new and old. And so I'm trying to like choose, like, what am I really excited to watch? And I don't know. I'm not trying to like say I think it looks terrible or anything. It just, I have a little stack of movies I'm trying to get through, and I've never been excited for Bird Box.
What's your favorite type of movie then?
You okay, dude?
It's all right.
You got it.
My son just fell. It's all right. He's strong. Go ahead.
Let me think. Favorite kind of movie?
Yeah.
Like genre?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I have no idea.
that's a hard question.
All of them. I don't know.
I can answer that.
I used to be like a real horror nerd, and that's still very much within me, but because I love horror because it's what tells us who we are, I think.
Well, there's to me there's smart horror like Jordan Peele's joint, Get Out, and then the Us that's coming out this year. Like that's smart horror, right? But horror where it's a bunch of young pretty kids that go into the woods and find a house, they're on vacation, they're all hot, and they all disappear one at a time. No, I can't.
Well, that
Come on.
That's like
What
that's like the slapstick version of horror.
No, but I mean that's like, to me, that when I think horror movies, that's where my mind goes.
See, yeah.
Oh, Wrong Turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, whatever.
Right.
However many there was.
If you may have to make a sequel of, well, let me backtrack because the first 3 or 4 Nightmare on Elm Streets were actually pretty good, but.
The first one?
I say like Nightmare. See, me growing up, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
like,
okay.
To me, like a good horror film taps into something that's like a necessity that people need. And when Wes Craven came out with Nightmare on Elm Street, to be honest, it fucked with a lot of people going to sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you have to sleep, right?
Did you have nightmares when you saw Chucky?
Oh, no.
Okay, so
No, but when I watched
fucking
Poltergeist, that's a whole different thing. Because
Okay.
clowns, no. I
Oh
don't do
man,
those.
Poltergeist traumatized me as a
Yeah.
child. And that scene where that guy peels his face off. In
Right.
The mirror.
And then anytime a screen went static, like I would turn off the TV real quick
Yeah.
because that would scare me. And it probably still does today. I just haven't seen a static screen.
Wait,
yet.
wait till the remake comes out with Kevin Hart and The Rock or some shit.
Kevin Hart and The Rock in
Poltergeist?
Poltergeist. I'm there opening night for that.
Oh, The Exorcist, yeah.
Yeah, they did a new one. Is there
Well, they didn't do a new one. I remember this is like a decade ago, but they re-released the original one. They
Okay.
added a couple scenes in that spider crawl scene.
Yeah.
That was a trip.
the head and then the insults.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
No, but there was
rehearse
one
that.
scene that wasn't originally released.
Uh huh.
And then when they re-released it, they added this scene, and I could be telling it wrong, but there was a part where they were sitting all in a dining room, and then all of a sudden you hear kind of some like crawling, and all of a sudden the camera just pans to the staircase, and she's like spider crawling upside down like at the camera.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Because like if you watch the original, that never happened, and you were like, oh, and I was like, oh my god, like that's the Ring, the first Ring got me.
Oh yeah, the Ring. Okay, I'll give you that.
The first Ring
was
got
dope.
me.
When she comes out of the TV, yeah, I freaked out.
Yeah, but then my brother was like, "Oh, that's just a Japanese remake." I'm like, "What?" And I watched the Japanese version. That one was cheesy. Like the graphics are really cheesy, but it still was just like that Nightmare on Elm Street, like this different the actual practical effects. Where you see it, you're like, "Wow, that's awful," but it actually was pretty scary. Or like John
I feel
Carpenter's
like it's
thing.
scarier because your eye can see that it's in the room with those actors.
Yeah.
Even if you know it's latex, there's something about your eye recognizing that like this is a real thing that everyone's looking
I'm
at.
gonna have to go back and watch it or introduce this to my son.
They did do a remake of the thing, didn't they?
It was like a sideways remake. Basically it was the same story being remade, but it still kept the other one in canon.
Okay.
So it was like people discovering the site from the first one. But then a very similar.
Yeah, because you can't
thing.
replace Kurt Russell.
Is
Kurt
it-
Russell's
isn't
in the
it?
original thing.
Speaking of Kurt Russell, Big Trouble in Little China
Love that movie.
with The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes,
No.
it is happening, my friend. It is happening.
Okay, I'll give it a chance.
I saw it
I'll give
recently.
a
It
chance.
was on like Freeform or some bullshit,
Mhm.
and I was like, yeah, it is cheesy. It is cheesy as fuck. All the cliches are there, like the Asian friend with the kung fu.
They're gonna have the RZA playing one of the.
I have no idea.
That'd
All I
be
know is
awesome.
that they announced it was a while back that they announced that the Rock was going to be.
Yeah.
So-
well, no, play Jack. What's his name? Jack.
Jack Burton.
Jack Burton. Yeah. Why not?
Ah man,
See?
I don't know.
No, guys,
it's just
you
because
just do
the
to your
scenes are
young
so
audience.
iconic with Kurt Russell. Like.
Now the Rock is going to take over the shit.
He's
He's going to be punching motherfuckers to China.
I can't see The Rock saying, it's all in the reflexes, and it sounds as cool as Kurt Russell.
You think the Rock is going to throw that knife back at that Chinese guy?
Nah, he'll
Grab
probably
it
just
and-
rock bottom somebody or something.
Yeah, probably.
He throws that in there every movie. Okay, I'll give it a chance because I thought the same about Jumanji, a Robin Williams film, and I was like, oh, they better not remake it. But it
Kevin
wasn't
Hart.
a remake. But it wasn't a remake. It was just a kind of continuation, and it was a twist on it, and that was actually a really funny movie.
It was
a really good movie.
Surprisingly good.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
It was my girlfriend's 8-year-old that watched it. She's like, "Oh my god, I love this movie," and I was like, "Really?" I was like, "All right." We watched it together, and I was like, "Wow!" I was laughing the entire time. It's actually a really good movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Back to the whole interactive films and video games. That's what it's about.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I never bothered because.
Because isn't Jumanji just a commentary on how
Oh,
we
blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we all
And it's
have
based off of
Jumanji in
a
our
game.
heads. We all have Jumanji in our heads, guy. This is deep. Maybe I'll get high and just and watch it or something because I can't get over for the most part when you take a classic. Well, maybe Jumanji. Would you consider it a classic? Would you?
I mean, it's not.
No, it's not his
I think
best.
it's great. I don't
It's
think
a great- it's a great film.
Say they made Mrs. Doubtfire. They remade Mrs. Doubtfire, and then they casted. I don't know. Who
would
really
you
good?
cast? That's what.
Yeah, I know. Who'd you cast for Mrs. Doubtfire today? There's got to be someone hot. There's got to be someone that's hot right now.
I mean, Steve Carell would be the only person I could think of that could even be close to pulling that off.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah,
I mean, that's the first person I could think of. Because he
Justin
has a lot
Timberlake?
of layers too. Because a
Yeah,
lot of
he's-
movies that he's come out with recently,
They
he's
haven't done
actually
well
a really
though.
good actor.
That one with the toys and all that stuff, based on a true story.
Well, he did that. Was it the?
The one
Where
with
he
the
was
co-
like a wrestling coach or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
So,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
But it
that
did
was
the
a good
one that just came out with the guy who basically
Oh,
come up
Welcome
with
to
his own-
Marwin.
Yeah.
Was based? Isn't that based off of a true story?
It is.
Yeah.
But I don't think it did well.
No, it got like a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
There you go.
That's Robert Zemeckis. Robert Zemeckis again in his he can't technology has thrown him so far off his path. Him and Tim Burton. I just want to see both of them make a good movie again. But Robert Zemeckis did Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit.
Oh, one of my all-time
yeah.
favorites,
He was
Roger
always,
Rabbit.
pushing the envelope on technology, and at a certain point, it got to be so powerful that he had nothing reeling him in, and that movie just looks. And then he made all those uncanny valley movies like Polar Express and Beowulf, and
He did Beowulf?
Yeah, he did Beowulf.
Yeah, he did all those
Oh wow,
why did they
that
look
was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Polar Express, the technology, the animation wasn't great, but the movie, the premise of the movie and all that stuff, it's a great Christmas movie.
All right.
But yeah, the animation was kind of
Beowulf
for me. It
was
was
weird,
like
man. It didn't feel right.
well, who did they cast for? I
have no idea who that is.
It was a big actor, at least at that time.
Yeah, but it's
And
like
then
his
Angelina
body
Jolie was in that too, and
She
she
was?
was hot at the time with Tomb Raider and Mr. and Mrs. Smith and all those other films that she did. At that time.
All right, well, this turned into a movie review show. but this is cool. And like I said, we're 3 old men just sitting around shooting the shit about
Speaking
remakes.
of remakes,
What?
Masters of the Universe
Are you fucking kidding
with
me?
Channing Tatum.
What? That
Channing
Did you know?
Tatum.
I love Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum is going to play Prince. What's his name?
Prince Adam.
Prince Adam. Yeah, Prince Adam.
He's going to.
And Battle
be-
Cat is going to be all CGI.
I have no idea. It's coming out later this year, I believe.
Oh no, not cartoons into movies.
No, I mean they did. There was a original Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren back in the
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, but it's the 80s. Nobody cared. Fuck.
Now I'm just thinking of other cartoons into movies.
Transformers. Okay,
Heard Bumblebee's
I heard the
I-
Bumblebee
we-
movie is really good.
We got to wrap up, but Transformers to me, I saw it for one reason and one reason only. I wanted to hear that sound when they transform. That's
And
all I
they
wanted
did
to
it-
hear.
and they did
All
it
I hear
once.
was clink, clank, clank, clank. So
They did it once. The first time
I
Optimus,
didn't catch it.
Yeah, you got to go back. The first time Optimus transforms,
Uh-huh.
they do the original transforming sound. But then from then on,
I mean,
it's
you
just
can't
like
tell. It's a bunch of metal just clashing.
Yeah, but you're talking about Michael Bay though.
Yeah.
Now- oh,
I
yeah,
feel like
but
that's
why
a
would
review
you-
of his whole career?
Yeah, Ninja
It's a
Turtles.
bunch of metal
It took Ninja Turtles and fucking threw it down the shitter.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You don't need. Come up with new shit. Come up with new shit. Stop trying to remake things and fuck the new audience. Have them watch the classics.
See, but I think and again, this is just me being a step parent. 'Cause, my girlfriend, she has an 8-year-old.
Sorry.
A lot of these remakes of the classes that we grew up.
Uh-huh.
Now we're parents, and we're trying to get our kids to capture that imagination that we had when we were kids. And we want to give that to them, and then when we watch it, kids love it.
Yeah.
They go crazy
You know
over
what?
it, and then we're walking out as grumpy old men, I can't believe they did that to Ninja Turtles.
Look, I look
But at
forward.
the same time,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
fine. Go ahead.
At the same time, kids are dumb.
What are you trying to say, man? My son's right here.
I know, and I had that thought before he wanted up. I'm just saying, kids love it, but that was a joke, and no one laughed. And thank you, I appreciate it. I was just saying that kids are gonna like a lot of things.
Yeah, but you know what? And I look forward to the day where I can sit down and watch the Lion King, the original Lion King, with my son, and be like, "This is home. This is Africa." And this, because to this day, when I watch the Lion King, like the Circle of Life, and I shit you not, the song, the Circle of Life, especially the beginning, nah, so and all that, like chanting and shit, I still get teary-eyed to this day because of that.
Well, it means something.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's South Africa, but still my continent. Point is, like, I don't think you'll need to watch the new one in CGI and all that stuff. You can just watch the classic. Don't touch that. Here we go.
He's trying to be cameraman.
Yeah, I know. He's
working on it.
Yeah,
Working
right. No, but like, I'll just, and I'll close on this. I look at the cartoons now, and they're all in like 3D CGI shit. I'm like, what happened to drawn cartoons? Like maybe the last one is SpongeBob.
Oh, I miss hand-drawn animation.
But like, think Tom and all the Tex Avery, the Hanna-Barbera, fucking the Looney Tunes, all drawn shit, and now it's all 3D with Paw Patrol and some other. I don't even know the names of the stuff. Like Teen Titans is still drawn, but it looks goofy as fuck.
It's Flash animation drawn.
Yes, thank you.
I gotta say that's my generation is very much like, I was born in '85, so I grew up on all the hand-drawn stuff, and as I was starting to come out of pre-teen age and into my teenage years, that's when I started noticing everything becoming computer much more.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, what are kids are gonna have this gross bubbly stuff to look at now?
Like the Mickey Mouse Club is all like CGI shit.
Yeah.
And like,
going to Teen Titans though, that Teen Titans Go to the Movies, loved it. Amazing movie. You gotta watch it.
I like the original Teen Titans that was drawn like the Batman series.
Yeah.
And now they got this goofy looking fucking characters.
The movie,
I can't have that.
The movie that they came out with.
I thought it was a series.
It is a TV series, but they actually made a movie that came out last year.
Oh, all right.
And it's clever. They touch every single comic book. They cross over to Marvel. Stan Lee
Teen Titans
cameos in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, Teen Titans Goes to the Movies. It's a movie.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a movie about Robin having his own movie.
That's cool.
Oh,
You gotta watch it.
Okay.
It's already. I think it's already on DVD.
All right,
You should watch it. It's good. I laughed the entire time.
I want to back you up on hand-drawn one more time by saying that I also get teary-eyed every single time I watch The Lion King. And I got teary-eyed.
What scene?
Honestly, mostly
when he runs back to
the
Pride?
beginning and the end. Well, I think that movie is objectively, like, I think it's a perfect movie. I think it's one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, though, when I was talking about earlier how I watched it, I spent like the whole movie with like tears in my eyes just because I watched it on Blu-ray for the first time, and you can see all of those lines. And I was like, I was like honestly just getting emotional because it was such a work of art. I feel you. There's something about it. Seeing
when it's drawn, I think it's.
I mean, it's classic. I mean, you can't. It's. I don't know. There's something that somebody that could create with their hands in that format, you know, that just says something different. I mean, granted, there's other like Cartoon Network shows that I've watched that are, you know, computer animated. Like Samurai Jack is great.
Do you think that's computer animated?
I don't think it's.
No, it's not. It's drawn. It's drawn.
Well, I mean, but it's all digital though. It's like digital.
Yeah, but it's drawn still. I mean,
no, but I'm like the whole.
I'm talking about like 3D type CGI type shit. Like think,
still be good stuff
like think any of the Pixar movies, but cartoon form, with big goofy heads and small bodies just running around going, "Oh, what are we gonna do today?"
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, I guess. I think around the same time you were talking about when you kind of diverted from watching, you know, animated shows, is whenever they started getting too digital.
You think like a cartoon back in the 40s used to take like 6 to 9 months to
talking
produce.
About like Bosco?
No, I'm talking like
throwback.
Yeah. I'm talking like old Looney Tunes.
Okay.
From the animation to the voiceover to the music and everything. Like to me, best cartoon ever made is Tom and Jerry. Hands down. Hands down. I will fight you over that.
Yeah.
Most violent and definitely it was a.
It's all music. It's brutal. Yeah, it's brutal. And there was a black lady. All you saw was her legs, and we didn't care.
Yeah.
It wasn't like racist or anything. But sometimes Jerry would win, sometimes Tom would win, sometimes
they just hang around a fire and
Exactly.
smoke a peace pipe together.
Yeah.
That's the end of an episode.
and they've probably touched on every single environment there is, from the space to the woods to the sea to everywhere. Vacation, the house was always my favorite stuff. Every time he was in the house and started breaking shit, fucking loved it. Anyway, we can go on and on about cars, and we'll save that for another show.
Right.
Alex, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Adam, always a pleasure.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I don't really think kids are dumb, by the way.
Too late. It's on record.
All right.
It's on record.
Thanks for having
Where
me.
can people find your shit real quick?
You can go to ptekmusic.com. That's a portal to everything I do.
Sweet. Alex?
C12 Photography. C12.photography is my website. Go check out my
Sweet.
work.
And you already know the feedback.com for all the shows, all the archives. Got plenty of shows to go through. And
You're getting a music outro right now.
Huh?
You're getting a music outro.
yeah.
Right
Oh
now.
yeah. My son's fucking around with
Play
the
us out.
piano. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Check us next time, and make sure you subscribe to the Feedback Podcast, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So thank you so much. Ciao, ciao.